In many rural regions, the presence of wild boars has become a growing concern. These animals, while an integral part of the natural ecosystem, are increasingly damaging crops and spreading unease among farming communities. To mitigate these issues, regulated wildlife control measures are sometimes taken, particularly by professional teams trained to track and manage wild populations responsibly. Early in the morning, as dawn breaks over hilly farmland, tracking teams begin their journey into areas where fresh wild boar activity has been reported. Upon arrival, coordination begins immediately. With the support of specially trained tracking dogs, the teams carefully advance, responding to environmental cues and signs left behind by the animals. In one instance, a large wild boar was located attempting to flee from the encircling presence of the tracking dogs. The team responded swiftly with a well-timed action, bringing the situation under control. Each careful intervention not only protects the surrounding crops, but also contributes to balancing the local wildlife population. Meanwhile, in a different location, another team was stationed near hillside farmland when a wild boar emerged from the brush and began damaging cultivated areas. The team acted to prevent further loss, following the animal's escape path through challenging terrain. Eventually, a well-placed shot brought the situation to a close, halting any further impact on the crops. Elsewhere, in a densely forested region, the local wild boar population had surged significantly, posing increasing risks to agriculture. Under strict regulations, another tracking team entered the forest with the intent to manage this growing challenge. As wild boars attempted to flee deeper into the woodland, careful coordination and accurate responses by the team ensured a safe and swift conclusion. In each case, trained dogs played a pivotal role in locating the animals and reducing the need for prolonged pursuit. Throughout the operation, the teams operated with precision, often responding to subtle cues in the environment, such as the sound of movement through underbrush or changes in canine behavior. In one event, a boar emerged suddenly from the brush. Thanks to the team's readiness and calm response, the situation was resolved quickly and without escalation. As the operation extended to other regions, such as the Pindus Mountains, the terrain became increasingly challenging. These mountainous areas, known for their dense vegetation and sharp elevation changes, offer ideal cover for wild boars. Yet despite the difficult environment, the wildlife teams continued their tracking efforts, moving silently through the morning fog. In one encounter, a wild boar charged unexpectedly, but the response was composed and efficient, resulting in a safe resolution. In the same region, another group monitored the snowy mountainsides with binoculars. After a prolonged period of silence, a wild boar appeared in the distance. A measured and accurate response brought the encounter to a quiet conclusion, minimizing disturbance to the surrounding wildlife. In contrast to ground-based operations, aerial observation and intervention are also employed in vast open landscapes such as those found in Texas. Using helicopters, professional teams can cover large areas quickly and identify wild boars that may be damaging farmland below. The aircraft maintains a low, steady course, allowing for clear visual confirmation before any action is taken. These efforts are carefully documented to ensure transparency and adherence to wildlife management regulations. Following these efforts, attention turned to Corsica, where the thick vegetation and uneven ground pose logistical challenges. Teams working here must rely heavily on preparation and patience. In one case, a boar appeared while foraging near the hillside, and after careful confirmation of its presence, a precise intervention was carried out. The journey continued into the region of Gorsky Kotor, where hilly terrain and dense forests create natural hiding places for wild boars. Here, handlers with tracking dogs move strategically along mountain trails. Within minutes, the dogs signaled a nearby presence, leading to a swift and professional response. Suddenly, a wild boar darted out of the brush like a bolt of lightning. A gunshot followed instantly, marking the swift end of another ambush. There was no time for hesitation or escape. The sound of barking dogs echoed across the forest, signaling that a target had been located. A shadow moved swiftly through the trees, searching desperately for an exit, but it was already too late. As the animal broke into an open area, it was quickly brought down. This scene played out in New South Wales, a crucial agricultural region in Australia, responsible for generating billions of dollars annually. However, the land is now under increasing pressure from invasive wild boars. These animals cause widespread destruction, digging through soil, ruining crops, and contributing to tens of millions of dollars in agricultural losses. In response, organized control efforts have mobilized across the region to protect these fertile areas. As dawn broke around 5 a.m., the team loaded equipment into their vehicle and headed toward the designated site. Upon arrival, they immediately dispersed, taking up prearranged positions. 20 minutes passed in complete silence, no movement, no sound. Then, without warning, a large, wild boar estimated to weigh over 500 pounds emerged and charged through the area. A gunshot rang out, followed by another. The animal collapsed instantly, motionless on the ground. It marked a strong beginning to the day's operation. In a nearby field, another team member had also located a target. As a group of boars appeared, one individual prepared his shot and fired. The herd scattered in an instant, disappearing into the undergrowth, but one remained behind, struck cleanly and lying still. Despite early success, the mission was far from over. The landscape, characterized by open plains and dry soil, created ideal conditions for boars to roam. As expected, another group emerged, disturbing the earth with their sharp hooves. Gunfire erupted again. Although several animals managed to flee into cover, a few were successfully stopped. Communication was key, and precise coordinates were quickly relayed to ensure tracking efforts remained effective. Moments later, a large boar was spotted maneuvering through tall grass. The shooter took aim, followed the animal's movement, and fired. The boar stumbled and dropped. Simultaneously, in another sector, a wild boar was seen hiding in the brush. When several individuals attempted to flee the pursuit of trained hounds, more shots were fired, and 2 were stopped instantly. As the day progressed, yet another boar emerged unexpectedly. With quick reaction, the team member positioned nearby took a clean shot. The light began to fade, and with darkness approaching, efforts intensified to locate the remaining animals. The quiet returned to the fields, broken only by the sound of footsteps over dry grass. Suddenly, another wild boar charged from the brush, possibly fleeing an unseen threat. A single gunshot echoed again, and the animal collapsed where it stood. Wild boars, some weighing hundreds of kilograms, have long posed challenges to rural communities. Their intelligence and resilience make conventional deterrents, such as fencing and traps, largely ineffective. Consequently, regulated hunting remains one of the few viable population control measures available in certain regions. A new phase of the operation began with a trek deep into the forest. At daybreak, the group advanced along a narrow trail. The alert barking of hounds soon interrupted the quiet, signaling another encounter. The team responded quickly, moving into a flanking formation. Once the target was in sight, a shot was fired, and the animal was brought down immediately. Shortly after, another boar charged from a higher elevation. It was swiftly intercepted with a well-placed shot. The forest fell silent again, until the sound of movement signaled another group approaching. The team waited patiently for the animals to enter view. Once they did, gunfire rang out, and another boar was brought down. Taking higher ground proved advantageous, offering a clear line of sight and improving effectiveness. From an elevated blind, one of the hunters spotted a small herd approaching. She aimed, fired, but the group managed to retreat just in time. Adjustments were made, and the team repositioned for another attempt. Soon, another group emerged, and a hunter stationed nearby took the shot. One boar was struck and collapsed where it stood. In the distance, a dark figure was seen running. A second shooter acted promptly, and the animal dropped a few steps later. As the operation continued, more wild boars burst from the woods, moving with incredible speed. In the chaos of their retreat, additional efforts were made to intercept them. The day reflected the intensity and scale of managing wildlife populations that impact agriculture and local ecosystems,